not everyone was so confident. Scriptwriter Tony Jordan decided to get onto the set and watch some filming to find out for himself.
I ended up being down an alleyway at the back of a donkey, so I was actually staring at a donkey's arse. But through the back legs of the donkey, I could see a monitor, and they have monitors so that as stuff's being shot, you can see what they're shooting. And I managed to squeeze past the donkey just enough to catch a glimpse of what was being shot. And I still remember the scene vividly to this day.
I'm hopeless, aren't I?
Look, so long as it's warm and wet, that's all that matters.
I'm not interrupting anything, I hope.
So, what can we do for you?
The furniture still hasn't arrived.
You're on the catch.
Top priority is a bed.
And I just thought, oh, fuck. This didn't bear any resemblance to everything that we talked about. This wasn't the show that Tony Holland had talked about, wide-eyed and excited. I lost everything, all the excitement and all the enthusiasm that I have, that we spent all those months talking about, just went in an instant, in 10 seconds of tape, because I realised that it wasn't ever going to be it was never going to be on screen what was up here. It was awful. It was just bloody awful.
Only it was too bloody late. The show had to go on. The all-important piece in the armoury against ITV was ready. For the BBC, the 6th of July 1992 really mattered. Eldorado had to succeed. At 7 p.m, head-to-head against a special edition of Coronation Street, Eldorado went on air. Ranged against Corrie's regulars were the local baddie, Marcus Tandy.
It's not my fault!
Hey, morning, Doc.
Expats, the Lockheads.
Oh, rain forecast all this week. At home.
This is home.
Colourful Trish and her toy boy lover, Dieter.
Look, I work bloody hard for my money, and what for? So you can spend it on some pasty-faced little scrubber from, where was it? Wolverhampton?
Spinster and busybody, Olive King.
Sacrilege.
You shouldn't say that. My faith is very important to me.
Restaurateur Bunny and his new friend.
This is Liz, my wife.
All right.
As well as 15 other characters. And the concept of foreign languages without subtitles.
Hej skat, hvad laver du her?
Jeg vil bare sige, der er frokost lige om lidt.
Vi bliver nødt til at spille det her spil færdigt. Isn't that so, Drew? Okay.
The next day, executives at Television Centre were relieved to learn that despite Coronation Street, over 8 million viewers watched the first episode.
A soap has a key role to play in any schedule. Popular drama can draw people to a network early in the evening, and you hope that they will stay, and you can introduce other programs to them on the back of the soap. It works superbly with EastEnders, and Eldorado was one of those audience connection points which would draw people to the channel and encourage them to stay with us.
Now everyone waited to see how much support the new mega soap would get from the press.
The Independent, always interesting for a soap. The central figures may be drawn from a broad spectrum, but they don't resemble real people anywhere near as closely as they resemble characters from a soap opera on holiday.
I wasn't quite ready. It was vitriolic. I mean, they were pretty horrendous.
The Guardian said that Eldorado goes straight for the young, drunk vote with a directness that leaves you winded. It has the look of a situation comedy whose laughter track has been lost.
They weren't thinking. They were just, let's hit. And they did hit, and it did hurt.
The Telegraph was interesting. They said, as for sun, sex and sangria, Eldorado looks set to be about as sexy as a cold suet pudding.
I didn't give a toss about that, to be honest. I really didn't give a toss. I mean, when someone says you're bad, okay, you're bad, and you just think, well, that's your opinion.
The Sun, our friends at The Sun. The characters are such rip-offs of Albert Square and other soap hits that viewers risk being done for receiving stolen goods. That's a tad unfair.
I don't think even then, even when the reviews were bad, that we worried unduly. We just thought this is what happens to soaps, and we'll prove them wrong, and eventually people will watch us and it'll work. And anyway, they've spent all this money. We've been promised 2 years, or we thought we had 2 years. The Titanic will turn.
There was a turn, only it was a turn for the worse. At the end of the first week, only 5 million viewers returned for more. Week by week, the figures continued to fall. Until 6 weeks in, and only 2.8 million washed up on the shores of the Costa Eldorado. Viewers abandoned the sun, sea, sex and sangria in their millions. The BBC wanted to prove that Eldorado could succeed. The first head was about to roll. It was the producers.
I remember arriving on set one day and someone said, Julia Smith's left. I remember that. It was kind of like, where were you when JFK, you know? I thought, what? She's left? What do you mean she's left?
And then we were told eventually that Julia wasn't well, and that we would be having a new producer, that she needed to rest.
I felt sorry for her because she was always committed, she was always dedicated, and she did work very hard at the beginning to try and make this program work, and I was very sad the way it happened to her and how it affected her. I mean, I don't think she ever really recovered from what happened to her.
Tony Holland would stay for now.
I was very shocked that she was sacked. I felt I had to stay, but she wasn't there.
Tony would now have to work with Julia's replacement. Former EastEnders producer Corinne Hollingworth. They were charged with winning back the millions of viewers the BBC needed.
There were such obvious problems with it that I couldn't make it any worse.
You shake my nose and you rattle my brain. Too much of love drives a man insane. You broke my will on White as River. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Some of the acting was execrable. I couldn't believe that they had gone ahead with having scenes played in foreign languages with no subtitles.
Julia, je t'ai tellement envie de l'aimer. Tu peux l'échanger si c'est pas la bonne taille.
It didn't know what it was and what it wanted to be. Was it a light, frothy sitcom, or was it actually going to be about character?
Oh. Excuse me.
You said you mended it. What are we going to do?
There were some brave decisions. I think the whole Fizz and Bunny issue, to have an elderly man with a young woman like that.
You better stay in bed till then.
The basic relationship was flawed, and on screen looked unpleasant, looked unhealthy, and there was no way, I didn't think, that the audience was ever really going to engage with that particular story.
Is there anything, special you like?
I'll leave it up to you.
17-year-old Kathy Pitkin, who played Fizz, was sacked. But that was only the start. Corinne set her sights on the rest of the cast as their contracts came up for renewal.
Mass slaughter.
A gloomy silence descended on the set as the cast waited nervously to find out who was on Corinne's hit list.
There's a very morbid sort of feeling around because nobody really spoke. And then it was my turn as well, so I walked in. And I was told that basically my character Dieter would not teach windsurfing in the winter.
6 others followed in Kai's footsteps, their dreams of soap stardom in tatters.
It was a little sad that day. It was a little sad. There was a lot of people in tears. But what can you do?